Want your colors to really shine? It's the neutrals that make it happen. They add calm, create contrast, and pull everything together beautifully. Let's explore this. Hi, I'm Jane, and I am all about fearless color. But today, we're going to celebrate the subtle power of neutrals and why it matters more than you think. If you'd like to follow along with this series and get the free daily downloads, just sign up below. Each day, I'll send you a link to the next video in the series, along with a little freebie that includes a recap of the day's tips. Perfect for building your own color workbook as we go. Today, we're talking neutrals. Might not sound very exciting at first, but trust me, it makes a huge difference in your projects. Now, when I talk about neutrals, I'm talking about colors like white, cream, beige, soft grays, those gentle tones that often take a back seat in the spotlight, ones we often use as the background of our design, but they actually play a key role in helping your colors shine. Before we jump in, I just want to clarify what I mean when I talk about neutrals in this video. The word neutral can mean different things to different people. Often it includes colors like blacks, deep grays, and a range of browns. And yes, those can all be beautiful grounding tones in a palette. You can absolutely create a stunning project using only those shades. But in the context of this video, I'm focusing on a slightly different kind of neutral, yarns that feel almost colorless. I'm talking about soft whites, pale grays, creams, light beiges. These are the quiet background players that don't add much color of their own, but instead let the other colors in your project shine. They give the eye a place to rest, and they help create balance without demanding attention. In my own designs, I often think of neutrals as the crochet version of negative space in art and design. In visual art, negative space is the area around and between the main subject. It's not the focus, but it plays a huge role in defining and elevating what is. Neutrals work the same way in yarn. They hold space, create calm, and help the bold elements pop. They may be quiet, but they're doing some serious behind-the-scenes work. Now, I do want to mention that solid colors, whether bold or soft, can also be used as effective backgrounds, depending on how you place them. That's a fun part of using color intentionally, and I'll be talking more about that in a later video when we look at how color can emphasize specific elements in your design. Now, when you're working with lots of color, like I often do, it's easy for things to start feeling a bit crowded or busy. That could be the vibe you're going for, like those scrap granny squares. There's a lot going on there, and that is the appeal of them. Totally legit. But often you want to give your designs a little space to breathe, and it is the difference between why one scrap granny square blanket seems to appeal to you more than another scrap granny square blanket. There's something subtle going on there. Colors that are similar in tone or don't have much contrast can blend together, which can be a really nice and intentional design choice, but it's also worth thinking about how they'll look from a distance. Sometimes they can lose a bit of definition, and now suddenly your design details or your geometric shapes, they start to get lost because nothing has room to stand out. That's where this idea of neutrals comes in. Think of them like a well-placed pause in a song or the white space in a painting. They give your project a place to breathe, and they give some space for the eye to rest. Now remember, my theme is every color project tells a story. Neutrals don't take over the story, they support it. They give contrast without competing, often very subtle, so you don't even notice them, but they let your star colors have their moment. Even in soft gradient palettes, a well-placed neutral can anchor the design and keep it from looking too mushy or flat. In my own work, I try to include at least one neutral for about every 3 colors in general. Sometimes I use beige or dusty linen shade when I want things to feel warmer and more grounded, anywhere in that area of whites and soft colors. Neutrals don't have to be stark, white, or dull. There's a wide range, and they each bring a different feeling to the piece. You just need to experiment a little and find what works with your palette. A bright white will have a different feel than a beige or a soft, warm white, but they're still doing the same job. It just depends on which one works better with the palette you're using. Most of the time I'll use a neutral to join my squares so they're highlighted on a neutral background like a painting on a white canvas. Use a very pale shade of the colors you're already using in the design. That works too. This ties the project together and is usually one of the neutrals I used in the squares themselves. I usually try to keep that tied together so it blends and it's subtle and it doesn't overtake the entire design. So your color play challenge is you have chosen the direction of your color palette, and now you're going to start adding in a neutral or two. See how it changes the feel of your palette. Try placing swatches side by side with and without the neutrals and notice the difference. Sometimes the smallest shift brings the biggest clarity and can completely change the feel of your project. project. Here's to the quiet ones, the unsung heroes of color work. Let them do their thing and watch your colors come alive. And remember, if you'd like to follow along with the full series, sign up below and I'll send you a new video each day straight to your inbox, along with a free printable to go with that day's color tip. It's an easy way to stay inspired and build your color confidence one day at a time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this helped you see neutrals in a whole new light. Come hang out with me tomorrow as we dive into the magic of repeating elements and how a few simple tricks can pull a bold, colorful project together beautifully. In the meantime, enjoy the process and let your creativity run wild.